So I've been asked this question a lot. Is the Darkmoor gear worth farming at all? And it's been brought up so many times. Even after I made my video talking about the gear and whatnot, and just going over it, and even spent like a section of the video just hovering over every single piece. The general answer is yes, if you want to min-max, and if you don't care about the extra 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, then don't farm it. But I feel like a lot of players didn't realize this, or just now realizing this. But it's like this every year, every since Wallaroo, right? Wallaroo into the Selenopolis, into like even the previous year, even with Novus. Um, it's always been small damage increases. I think people are hoping for big damage increases, like 30 extra damage, 40 extra damage on like nearly every school, but I don't think that's always going to be the case. Um, and I think it's just going to be this system every year. And I've specified this every year whenever I do like my end of the year video, or like my beginning of the new, like the new year, I guess you can say. I talk about how this is the cycle. Like it's always been the same cycle of, hey, we get a world release or somewhat of a world release update towards the end of the year. The beginning of the year we get the same couple stuff. Whenever it's like summertime, we always get a raid. Spring we always get a gauntlet with some sort of rematch, which we're gonna get a boss rematch with Caramel. It's been the same things every year, but like I don't mind explaining it, but it's just I feel like more and more people are just now realizing the fact that, hey, do I even need to farm this gear? I mean, that's for you to decide, right? Like for me, from a content perspective, yeah, I'm gonna farm out the gear. I literally, even to the point, I farmed the gear in test run. Like that's how committed I was to make my videos and stuff like that. Now, if I wasn't making content, I'm gonna stick with my Reaver gear and just quest the world, and then just go to bed or go do some like go to my job, like go do other things, like if I wasn't doing content and whatnot. But since I am doing content, yeah, I'm like, sure, I'll go farm out the extra, which you guys can see, 1 damage. Yeah, I'm gonna go farm out my 1 damage and my 40 extra crit rating, because why not? Like do you really need to farm? That's for you to decide, right? Like if you have the time, and sure. And honestly, the farming and stuff like that in this world is really not that bad. Like for one boss it's 10 runs, but it's a 1 round fight. The other 3 bosses are 5 runs, and I'll have guides for all of them, but they're very easy. Like you don't even have, the good thing is, I will say about this year, which they didn't do in the previous years, they did in Selenopolis, kinda, somewhat, not really, but you're able to craft other school jewels. So if you are questing up multiple characters, which I had to do this for Wallaroo, which was very annoying, is I had to farm out all the crafting badges for every character. You don't even have to do that this year. Do it on your favorite character, and then after that you can craft all the jewels for all your characters on one character, and then move them over, which you guys can clearly see on my screen. Which I'm hoping this is the case and is staying the way, like as shown on test room. I mean, who knows, things can change test room, right? Why not? I'm hoping this doesn't change, because it's actually a really good change. But you can literally get all the stuff traditionally, even with the square jewels. You can buy all the other square jewels for whatever characters that you play on. So I think that's a cool change. I think they have everything from here. I think the one, I guess, downside is that the tier jewels from here do not have the school traps. So Wallaroo and Darkmoor have like nearly the identical same jewels. I think the only thing that people were pointing out to me was the moon shield opal, but we don't have traps. We don't have like the storm trap, ice trap, whatnot. You are going to still have to do Selenopolis and farm out the boss that gives you the tier jewels, and being to be able to even craft those specific jewels, which is kind of sad. I really wish that they tossed them in here. I mean, I don't know, that's like the only one downside. But beyond that, hey, you can still craft all, like literally you can craft every single sword pin basically for any school. If you want to craft an ice pin for your death, sure, or maybe an ice pin for your fire, go for it. I think they really did a good job when it comes to that. They made the grind really not that bad this year. Now, of course, Selenopolis, I think the main concern that people were like saying, like, oh, this is one fight I don't want to do, which is Kansu. And people were doing it on every character, and it was very very depressing. I mean, I did it on multiple characters, and part of me wishes I didn't, because if I knew Darkmoor's system was this simple and you only need to do 5 runs of a boss to be able to craft literally jewels, you know, pins, you know, gear on like on one character, you know, I would have not done that. So if you are trying to like figure out yourself, hey, I have Dreamweaver gear, hey, I have Avatar gear, if you don't mind doing the 5 runs of a boss to go craft the gear that are like, you know, relatively 1 to 2 round, maybe 3 round, hey, sure, you know, go craft the gear. I mean, for sure, I'll be probably doing it on stream and whatnot too. But if you really don't have the time and you're like, oh man, I don't think I really want the 1 extra percent. You know, obviously this, I'm using Storm as an example. I do want to point this out. I am using Storm as an example. It might be different per school, right? And I didn't have the time to actually check each and individual school and be like, okay, well, this is actually a drastic difference compared to this school or whatnot. There's always going to be damage differences and increases and whatnot, different depending on your school, which, you know, that's something you do have to remember. So I honestly think you should. I think it's worth grinding, in my opinion. The only downside, I think, is I'm not a fan of the item cards, which I kind of like pointed out. I miss the hat being able to have a bounce blade that was a 30%. Honestly, that was like a really good addition from Salnopolis, because you were able to run an amulet that gave you an Ellie blade and run a deck that gave you a Star blade. So you had access to 3 unique buffs. And last year we were able to still run the Shababa wand, which gave us a Star blade. So I was able to get a bounce blade for my hat, a Star blade for my wand, an elemental blade from my amulet, and a storm blade from my deck. And you might be wondering, well, why don't you just use weaving blades or like enchant blades? It's mainly for advanced combat purposes, and it just makes fights a little bit more easier because you can just stack unique buffs without having to worry, and you can just use those. I mean, yeah, of course, you know, if I'm someone else is going to be doing flood blade, I can focus on using all these 0 pit buffs. That's my logic. Now, of course, in soloing scenarios, yeah, sometimes I, you know, pull out the flood blade just to blade myself up with the 55 blade, because once you sharpen it, it becomes a 55 blade, which I've mentioned in multiple gear guides and whatnot. So that's like my only gripe regarding the gear. But hey, if you have the time, I mean, the TLDR is, if you have the time, sure, go out and go farm the gear. There's going to be guides for all the bosses and whatnot throughout the next couple days. I'm trying to upload 5 videos a day. That's like the goal currently, but it's definitely taking a toll on me because of all the videos I've been recording. And I'm recording this video like at 2 in the morning, just to put that in preference. Yeah, this is 2 a.m. Almond's recording a video about should you farm gear in Darkmoor. Simple answer is yes. If you don't, if it's easy, it's definitely just do it. Just simply do it. But honestly, it's up to you. You know what? That's what I'm going to, you know what? It's up to you. It's up to you. Before someone gets upset at me, it is up to you. My honest thing is you should though. You should though. But that is it for me. Leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.